We all know this car. This is the 2009 Mitsubishi Evo. We love this thing, all-wheel drive, 290 horsepower. It's a rocket. Everyone's heard all about it. It's about $37,000. So here's what happens. You walk into your Mitsubishi dealer and say, this is the car I want. And you realize the average price of these is about $37,000. So now you're thinking, I can't afford it. So what does the dealer do? He says, well, I've got this thing over here. Well, what is it? Well, this is the GTS. This thing starts at about $18,000. It has about half the horsepower. It's only front wheel drive. As you can see, it's not an Evo. So what's a buyer to do?
Ron, I think this is the car you've been looking for. This is the new Lancer Ralliart edition.
This car just pulls.
This is a car that kind of sits like the little brother to the Evo, but it's a big, strong, muscular big brother. I've just been turning hot laps in this thing. It's incredible.
So rather than take a car like the base Lancer over here and the GTS and add things to it, they took the Evo,
right,
and they took a few things off. What are some of the things they took off the Evo 10?
It's the same aluminum hood. It's also got a special grille, which is different than the other, with the blackout trim here, but does have the chrome on the side as different from the Evo to differentiate it, to make this one still look like the Rambo Rocky version. But what is interesting is that it has the same all-wheel drive system as the previous generation Evo, which was considered the cream of the class until the new one came out.
And base price is around $28,000.
That's right. So it's much easier on the wallet.
And this is only available in the twin clutch, correct?
That's right. Twin clutch doesn't have that super sport mode, but let's be honest, unless you're like we are today out in the cones, it doesn't really matter.
And you know, when you look at the first Ralliart that came to this country in '04, that was really just cosmetic. That was really kind of like the GTS. It was just some badges.
It was the real classic poser mobile, if you will. Now with this Ralliart, you're getting 9/10 of what you get with Evo, but for, as you say, $28,000.
And 235 horses.
Yes.
And 253 pound-feet of torque. I mean, this thing moves. This is going to fit nicely in the Lancer family. You have the base one, then you have this GTS, Ralliart, and of course the Evo.
It's got to be considered one of the most comprehensive small sedan lineups in the market today.
The 0 to 60 times on this is about 5.5, and on the Evo about 4.8, 4.7, so really not that much difference.
Numbers like that are really important when you're looking at what the car magazines are putting out, or your bragging rights, certainly when you're drinking a beer with your buddies. But when you're really merging on the highway, this kind of power is more than adequate, and it can even get you in more than enough trouble.
Let's talk about some of the other cars that this competes with. You have the WRX.
That's right, from Subaru.
The Mazda Speed 3.
Yep, Volkswagen GTI, or even the R32, which is now you're talking about a much higher price point as well.
And you don't get all-wheel drive. So really, if you really want the compact sedan with all-wheel drive, it's really this or the WRX, and to be honest with you, this looks so much better. One thing Mitsubishi did is really simplify the options here. You have the base car, about $28,000, and really there's only a couple of options. There's a Recaro seat option, and it's about $2,500, and about $2,000 for navigation. As somebody who used to own an Evo, I can tell you that this is more of an everyday Evo. And it's so much more refined than, really previous Evos. And when you look at the inside of this Ralliart, you are essentially in an Evo 10. The paddle shifters on this car are fixed to the column, not to the steering wheel. That's something that Mitsubishi and Subaru and others prefer. Other car companies like Audi like to have it on the steering wheel, which is kind of what I like, but it's really personal preference. The brakes that come with this car are more than adequate. Yes, they're not Brembo brakes, but you know what? Take this car for a drive, slam the brakes down, you'll see that plenty of stopping power. I think the fact that this car has 4 doors, it's all-wheel drive, it has the heritage and the spirit of the Evolution, it makes it a top pick for us.